Inside the Circle, Season 6, Episode 4.1. I
got a question for you.
Yes, go.
Since this is like our retake of the first one, is it still 6.41?
Yes, because they don't know we had a retake. And you sort of let that magic out of the bag right there. So you don't want to tell them that we got some B-reels.
There's so much magic in this bag here.
Doggone right.
I thought it was hot air. But...
Well, today we just got to recap. Normally we like to break out the individual and the team rankings again, but my boy's going to act like a little Kim Wilde here and
we're still going team rankings, though.
Yeah, we'll definitely do the team rankings at the end, so stick around or just fast forward, whatever, dude. You guys can do what you want, it's your computer. Sean, we did have some wrestling go on last week. Before we get too far into it, I wanted to notice that Sean is wearing an Inside the Circle shirt. Thanks for supporting the show. We appreciate that. You don't watch it. You don't know how to turn on the computer.
I don't watch it.
But I got me some new duds, baby. People used to give us t-shirts, which we love, but then they upped their game to a quarter zip. Walked into a dual meet last night. It was sweet, dude. It was a great dual meet, too. I would love to talk about it. And they're like, hey, man, check this out. I was like, sweet.
What is that, Washington and Marion?
No, it's actually William and Mary, but it's actually Watkins Memorial Wrestling. And I got to see Andrew Bones, saw him last night. Didn't get to talk to him because good yet. I think he was a state qualifier or state place winner for him. He was a state place winner for him.
Two-time.
Maybe two-time. Anywho, we're not here to talk about that. We're also not here to talk about Westland. Yeah, that's right, baby, yeah. We're here to talk about what happened. We had East Knox go down. We had North Canton Hoover. Some teams go out and represent. We had the SWOCA, the Southwest
Ohio. I don't know why
Ohio.
that's always funny to us.
I don't know. It's just
like
a lot of
10 years
letters.
Running.
Southwest Ohio Wrestling Coaches Association. A lot going on there. Oil and Change of Liberty had their mega tournament, so that was good. But first, Sean, I want to break down a dual meet tournament that went down. Delaware Hayes has been running this. Not only do they run their dual meet tournament early in the season, then they run their Raymond Invitational. Yep, exactly.
Last week of January, maybe
January,
first week
yep,
of yeah.
Exactly, February. And they had their duels. And we talked about this the last episode, how Springboro came into Marysville, and I thought they did a very admirable job.
They had a great showing.
Daggone right they did. Well, they come in this time, and they don't quite win it. Delaware Hayes walks away your champ. They were able to upend Hilliard Davidson by a score of 46-30 in the championship match. And then Northmore is able to upend Springboro 41-27. Just like a double dose of, hey, this is Central District. This is how we roll. So Northmore.
614, man.
Yeah, I'm getting that tattooed across my chest. 614.
You know, somebody has a shirt like that they've said they're going to give me for like the last 2 months. I haven't given it. 614 Wrestling. I haven't given it to you yet.
Was it me?
No, it's
okay, because I usually forget stuff. Sean, but I don't want to forget.
He knows who it is.
Oh, okay. I see what's going on here. Sean, I want to talk about the Delaware Hayes. They had a number of wrestlers go 4-0 because they wrestled 4 dual meets. They had a number of wrestlers go 4-0. Delaware Hayes had 3 kids. You had Eater at 106. Yeah. Hey, come on. McCloskey at 182. It was either him, McCloskey, or the kid that's getting all the hypes. At 195. These are bad jokes. Remember, that's what I'm good at.
Awful jokes. Let's say awful, not bad.
Terrible. So you got Eater, McCloskey, and Hypes for Delaware Hayes. Three-headed monster for Hilliard Davidson. Once again, these guys are proving themselves. Unbelievable. Dussault, DeSabato, and Monroe. Very strong core. I would love to know how DeWeese finished, if he could finish 3-1, or if he did finish 2-2. I would love to know that. But those are some guys that went 4-0. Hats off to you guys. Young man from Amanda Clear Creek Smith got his 100th win. That's awesome too. Sean, that's what's going on in Delaware duels. If we travel a little northeast, there you go, to East Knox. They run a nice little tournament up there. And if I'm not mistaken, they didn't start their program but not too long ago.
Oh, really?
I do believe in the 2000s. I could be wrong on that, but now they have a tournament. They're running that tournament. And Sean, Marion Pleasant walks away your champion by a pretty comfortable margin. 228.5 to Liberty Union's 196.
What kind of tournament was it? Like pool?
Oh, it was a pool tournament. Yes, it was a pool tournament. So you're going to see a little higher points because you're wrestling just about 5 matches, which is great. Get those kids some matches. But Marion Pleasant walks away with 3 champs. They had Wolf at 120. They had, you said Pit Lars. I think it was Pit Lars. It could be Pite Lars. But my point is he's at 182. And then they also had Baisden at 220 pounds. 3 champs. Very very good stud wrestler. So Pleasant is walking away with 3 champs. That's at East Knox.
Who got second? Did you say you got second?
Yes, Liberty Union.
Second runner-up finish for them.
Boom!
We got second at Whitehall like 2 weeks
sure
ago. So
did.
Pretty solid job. Good. Congratulations, guys.
Wonder what's going on out there at Liberty Union, just off 158
When you
pounds.
said it was a pool tournament, I wanted to use like
yeah.
like an 8-ball joke.
Oh no, it's not that type of pool.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah. No, and plus they could probably go classic 9-ball.
Okay.
Sean. That's East Knox. That's Delaware duels. We also had some guys representing outside of the district. You actually traveled up on Friday to North Canton Hoover, Aaron Wursler.
Blizzard.
Thanks again, Aaron Wursler. Great stuff. She was supposed to be gone. I don't know if I told you this.
You didn't?
The link.
Yes.
The link actually sent it to Aaron. I said, okay. Anywho, North Canton Hoover. Sean, you were there on Friday night. How did it go?
I love this tournament. Like me and Mark talked before we started filming. They started at 5 o'clock, had 7 mats running, never stopped wrestling ever for any breaks. Got over at 11, and then we wrestled to the quarterfinals. That was like 336 matches. That's like insane.
Dang.
That it's that big. Wow.
Popcorn, boys.
But we did have a couple schools go up there, as Mark said. Dublin Kaufman was the highest finishing team. They got 5th with 117 points. Olentangy Lewis Center got 10th with 101.5.
Yes.
We had 3 finalists. Jaden Maddox wins at 160 rather handily. And then we had 2 other finalists with Jimmy Bowman from Dublin Kaufman and Xander Gore from Olentangy.
Nice.
But,
Hey. 3 schools represented there.
3 different schools.
Yes.
I absolutely love this tournament. Like I said, they do a phenomenal job. It's like the 58th year of it.
Yes, it is.
58th year of them doing it, so wow.
I'm not 58. That's a long time to be running the
Oh,
tournament.
really?
Yeah, that's a very long time to be running the
Okay.
tournament. Hey, for those of you guys that went to North Canton Hoover, thanks for representing. I know Watkins was up there. There were a couple other teams up there, but those are the
Like
guys that
Logan
stood
was
out.
up there?
Yes,
Yeah,
most certainly. Other teams up there, appreciate you guys going up and representing well. The next tournament, Friday, you go up to North Canton Hoover, you drive all the way back. Olentangy Liberty, baby.
Wow. Also drive
Olentangy, a great tournament. It was fantastic. A lot of talk about this tournament. There's a lot to talk about. Now, I do want to talk about it, but let's just start with Olentangy Liberty walks away your champs with 214 and a half points to Olmsted Falls 213. How were they able to amass that many points? They did it on the strength of 5 champs. You had Roselli.
Almost a handful.
That is a handful. Anything more than a handful is a waste. So, Roselli is your champ. You also had Sato at 132. You had Connor Brady, obviously. Is he ranked?
50.
Yeah,
He's nationally ranked.
nationally ranked?
Yeah.
I was just knowing if he's top 5, top 3, top...
Nationally
Okay,
ranked.
nationally ranked. Good job. You also had Carson Karchalava at 170 and then at 182, Trevor Lawson. Studs upon studs. But Sean, those are your guys at Olentangy Liberty. Westfield North comes in 3rd place.
Yeah.
They're able to beat Lancaster by 7.5 points. Interesting twist there. And then finishing out the top 5 was Taze Valley. Sean, let's talk about
I
that
actually had a
tournament.
good showing too. Like I haven't seen him.
Taze Valley? Yeah.
I've seen him one dual meet up at Marysville. But
Okay.
they have a pretty solid team, like as a whole.
Ooh, is this foreshadowing to the top 10 maybe?
I don't know.
Stick
about
around.
that, but I really was impressed by them. I was impressed by them. To be honest.
That's great. That's great. Any other matches we've talked about the team breakdown, and you got those 5 champs, but I thought there were some matches I'd like to talk
Some great
about.
matches we talked about. We talked about like kid from Pickerington Central 113
Megas!
beating
Who
state
did he beat?
qualifier, Patterson from Mifflin.
Yes!
Then we had
Matt three.
Matt 3. Then we had
Yes!
a crazy match with Keaton and
Muzikowski from Licking Valley.
Yeah, that was a crazy
That was
match
a
as
great
well.
match. And honestly, it was 3-2, I think, at one point, and Muzikowski was able to get him. He may have turned his hip and got him in a headlock. Cut him to his back and picks up 5 there. And at this point, it's late in the second, and then Keaton comes back. I think he might have gone to his back again, but ultimately, and this is like that. The way it works, they end up. Obviously, Keaton's class. He's a class wrestler. He comes back, drops down, gets all the way back for 3rd, faces Muzikowski, ends up 2nd period pin.
no clue.
Okay. You were watching. You were
I was
watching
in the finals.
Gotcha. Finals match. Any finals matches stick out to you? A couple here and there.
A
but-
couple here and there. I mean,
okay.
Karchalava had a close match until they blew the whistle. Then
Ah!
they just demolished that field. Good God, dude, that guy's impressive. So that was something.
That was actually pretty good.
That was something to see there.
Oh, that was a funny joke. Not bad, not bad. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I love the tournament like we
Yeah.
talked about. Hospitality room's great. Everything.
Oh.
You know one thing I like about this tournament, we talk about it going forward as we're going to go to Medina and Brecksville and all the other tournaments, is I like how Liberty, after the contest semis, the finals are an hour later. It's not that 3-hour break or that 4-hour break.
It's just 1 hour.
It's 1 hour, we get in there, everyone regroups, we go
Yeah.
get some food, and then boom, we're back to wrestling. I really love that about the tournament. It's run very smoothly and good. Again, as Mark said, the hospitality room and everything's just kind of top notch there. So, congratulations
Yes.
on Liberty on winning it, and thanks for having us there cover it for you guys.
Most certainly. They got us a table, moved the award
Yeah.
stand. Real quick, it's not funny. It's very kind. I love hospitality. And when people extend it to me, I'm very gracious. I walked in. I got there a little late. but I walked into the hospitality room, and the girls were like, hey, step up our game. Inside the circles here. Let's go. Let's step it up. And I was like, that's very kind of you. But you were going to do this well anyway. So, Sean, you mentioned real quick some upcoming tournaments. I know we have 5 of them. Brecksville, Medina are
That's
2 of them.
also a handful.
That is.
Ooh,
High five.
What's the theme tonight?
Lightest weight. Pick the easiest. Did the team... No. Brecksville, Medina, Marion Harding, West Jeff, and... Help me.
Greater Miami Valley.
Greater GMVWA. Need more letters there. Typically, Olentangy Orange has gone in the past. Pick Central, Dublin Kaufman, Hilliard Bradley.
Right.
So we've got a number of teams going out there. Sean, we didn't get a top 10 last week.
We did
got
not
some
get a
hate
top
mail.
10.
Actually got an email of a tomato sent to us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was actually pretty funny. Because I made mention that you went to Westville North.
I got you.
Okay, cool.
I'm picking up.
Alright, it's not that funny. Sean! Top 10? Are we doing this?
We are doing a top 10 and some notables before we get to our top 10 as me and talked about. Patterson from Mifflin did certify 106 at Liberty, even though he didn't wrestle 6. He did get certified there, so he is okay there. Blake Sato appears headed to 132 there. I thought he looked like a totally different wrestler to me. It looked more impressive to me, so I think he's headed to 132. Juicebox from Delaware Hayes has come down to 32 since then. And Bailey Monday, a big one, has also come down to 32. So that is going to be an absolutely phenomenal weight when we get to individual rankings.
Yes, when we do get to individual rankings.
We have a new team debuting in the top 10 as well.
Woo! Fighting Harris's.
No, would you like to take a guess though?
No, I don't, because I'll be terrible.
Okay, you are terrible at this. Delaware Hayes, the Pacers break the top 10. After having an absolutely lackluster opening weekend at Marysville, these guys have really come around. They won their own Delaware duels there, besting Davidson, who's ranked ahead of them. And then they come back and beat Scioto 3 days ago in a dual meet as well, 39-34. So maybe they're starting to round into shape a little bit quicker than I thought they would.
Nice job, Delaware Hayes.
At number 9, we're going to move Dublin Scioto down a notch. Their overall depth isn't what I thought they would have. They still have the 3 or 4 solid kids, but I thought the overall depth maybe keeping them back a little bit, maybe more next year. We'll see them head up a little bit more, so we're going to move them down a spot. We're going to move up a spot as Davidson. I think they had a good showing. They won the Tays Valley duels, as we talked about. Now they got second up to the Delaware duels. They still have those 3 powerful scores plus a couple other kids that can contribute, so they are our number 8 team right now.
Boom.
At number 7, we're going Darby. These guys have kind of fallen off the mountain now. They had that great opening weekend, but since then, from what I've heard, they got blanked by Ashland in the dual meet. I'm not sure about the makeup of that. I don't know what, but I just got information they got blanked by Ashland. Ashland, who's going to be at
Whitehall Sectional.
Keep that in mind. All you guys think that's a gravy train there, but you know, Ball's
It's not a gravy train. It's not a gravy train.
Ball's a little bit banged up, you know.
That's true.
So
that's part
we're
of
gonna
it.
leave them at number 7.
Okay.
At number 6, we're going Olentangy here. They've been a 6 all year. I liked what I saw of them. I think they're an overall better dual meet team than they are a tournament team, but they still had a great showing. Xavier Gore did debut for them. James White's going to debut in 2 weeks at Beaver Creek on the 6th, so maybe we'll get a better understanding of what weight these guys are going to be at and how they come together.
That works out well.
At number 5, now we're starting to get a separation here. We're going with the Warriors of Westerville North.
Respect.
Respect, Mark said. They just finished 3rd at Liberty, as Mark said. They had that dual meet win at Mueller. I like this team as well as a dual meet tournament. I think them and Lancaster are just on a collision course to get that spot out of that region 15 or whatever that it might not be region
6A or 6B,
whatever that
7.
region is there. So I was impressed with them. They have so many kids. I think they were at 2 different tournaments that day with a varsity team.
They were.
So I mean,
they were.
Again, we're going to leave them number 4. At number 4, we're going Dublin Kaufman. I really like this team. The more I see them, I think they have overall more depth than they think they have. They have those 4 superstars scoring a lot of points. I just like this team. It's another, Bowman, Murray, Yost, and Lennox Wallach.
Yep.
Probably 4 state qualifiers and a couple kick-in points, so we're going to leave it at number 4. Number 3, we're going to make a change here. We're going to bring the Gales of Lancaster down 1. After they had that so-so opening where they won by maybe 15 or 20 points at Olentangy to start the season, which I really thought they were going to blow that field away, they had a bad loss to Western Brown. They lost 64-12. And I know they were down some starters, but 64-12, it goes back to when you look at results like that, when we're taking out some of our starters, it's what do your other second level and third level people do, and that's what you got to look for because that's what's going to separate separate these teams once we get later in the season at Derby and the regional finals and so forth. So I'm going to move them down a spot.
Okay.
I think maybe overall they just had a bad day because a couple of kids I thought could have done better. When like one kid doesn't do good, then it's a kid. But when you have 3 or 4 kids who probably didn't do well, maybe just something to water that. I see this all the time where teams get hot or teams get cold. So
That's why I don't drink water.
So we're going to move up a spot. We're going to move up Liberty 1 spot here. And I know this is a team who was basically a no-show at the sales. It was probably worse than that at Ironman, and it comes out and wins their own tournament with the strength of 5 champions. So I'm not running to the betting window putting all my money on Liberty, but they did show that when push comes to shove and they have to step it up, they're capable of doing this. I mean, if I've learned anything about Marinelli watching this guy over the last 10 years, this guy's got more tricks than a clown's pocket. So what we're ever going to get with this team, I have no idea, and we'll just watch him going forward.
Speaking of clown tricks, man, they won by 1.5 points. I don't know what kind of scoring was going on there. Who was working? Yeah, who was working the table there?
Jen Harris scoring there.
Who's number 1 then?
Number 1, I'm staying with these guys, Marysville. And the more the season goes on and the more I see other results, I really like this team. They got maybe top 5. They might have got 4th at Swoka. They were down, like Jake Marsh didn't wrestle. I think they were down 3 or 4 other starters.
Yeah.
They did have a couple of champions there. But it's just their overall depth that I absolutely love. DeWitt was a finalist at 182, so we're talking about that second level people they got. There's another guy to go with their 4 superstars that I just think everybody on the team could possibly score. Now, they're all not going to score at Derby, but they don't have any weights that are completely shut out. So I like Marysville. They'll be up at Brecksville. Liberty will be up at Brecksville, so we get a good look at them. Doug McCaulfin's going to beat the Greater Miami Valley. I'm going to cover that this year.
Medina?
Lancaster's Medina, Norris at Dinah.
Medina?
They are Medina, so Brecksville. I mean, so we got a lot of great wrestling coming on. But I really think these right here is a great indication of where these teams are at right now.
Nice. And we're talking, this isn't necessarily dual meet strength, but this is mainly Derby. That's how we're finishing.
Kinda like
with
Derby.
a little dash.
With a little dash.
Okay, I can deal with that.
Hopefully we can bring you guys some individual rankings before our next show. Maybe we can work that in maybe like a couple days after Christmas or something like that, because I think that's going to be a phenomenal show. But this is where we stand right now.
Not a problem. Well, Sean, this is it. These guys are wrestling this weekend. Get out and watch some wrestling. And now you are inside the circle.